Hari Hari. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Namaham Vishnu Padaja Krishna Presthaja Bhutale Srimat Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirveshesha Sunyabhadi Pashatyad Shatarine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirveshesha Shunyavadi Pashatyad Shatarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. 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 Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada Vyasa Puja Mahamahotsava ki. Srila Prabhupada Vyasa Puja Mahamahotsava ki. Srila Prabhupada Vyasa Puja Mahamahotsava ki. ISKCON founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki. Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Make an announcement. I put it there. You can make an announcement.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Srila Prabhupada's Appearance Day Festival today. So we will start our proceedings. And at this time, we will request His Holiness Romapat Maharaj to offer his offering.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chakshudunviditam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sanyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Mukhum Karoti Vachalam Pangum Laghayate Karim Yat Kripatamaham Bande Shri Gurum Dinatadanam. My dear and most respected spiritual master and eternal Father, please accept my most humble and respectful obeisances in the dust of your most merciful lotus feet. All glories to you, Srila Prabhupada. Even more than being recognized by Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj as a gifted writer, as early as 1935, for your Vyasa Puja homage to him, which was presented both in a couplet poetic form as well as an essay, your greatest satisfaction was knowing that you had pleased him very much by offering service to him through your God-given gift for writing. Quote, whatever he writes, publish it, was the instruction given by Bhaktisiddhanta's editor of The Harmonist. Absolute as sentient, thou hast proved. Impersonal calamity, thou hast moved. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta took your words in this couplet as an indication of how well you knew his mind and mission. It captured the essence of your spiritual master's preaching against the Mayavadis. The essay was likewise deeply profound. Your mature life was replete with such loving expressions of service to His Divine Grace's mission in all respects. When you left household life for Vanaprastha in 1954, at the age of 59, you endured much hardship and anonymity. Little has been recorded about those testing years. After wandering here and there for 2 years, striving to assist your Guru Maharaj, you took up residence for 6 years, 1956 through 1962, at the family-owned Bangshi Gopalji temple near Keshigat. Your room was tiny and barren. Hardly could one even imagine that a world acharya would evolve from such humble beginnings. A testimony of your unbridled determination against all odds, manifested in an unexpected manner by your following up on a notice of an event to be held in Japan in May 1961. An invitation was extended to you from Japan to personally attend the conference called Congress for Cultivation of Human Spirit. Although your sights had been set by Bhaktisiddhanta upon addressing the English-speaking part of the world, without any assets or assistance, you set about the project of writing Light of the Bhagavat, drawn from chapter 20 of Canto 10, to address this assembly. A 20,000-word manuscript was prepared for the occasion, with an explicit request of the conference organizer to produce one oriental painting to accompany each section of the book, not to be published until 20 years later because you had no funds, even for the airfare to Tokyo. Srila Prabhupada, the language in this manuscript is so powerful, brilliant, perfectly suited for the audience, and embodying the same core messages you shared with the world audience for the next 2 decades. Your fidelity to the strong points repeatedly found in the writings of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta is so apparent, even at this early stage. One outstanding example I particularly noted was this, quote, human beings have 2 kinds of temperament. Some are introspective and others are extravagant. And, quote, nature divides human activities into 2 different spheres, one external and the other introspective. As long as man is dominated by the modes of ignorance and passion, he is active externally in desire and lust, unquote. The wise are those who look inwardly and can guide the misguided. A repeated appeal is made to direct the reader to become inward-directed instead of extravagant and externally oriented. This language is precisely the same as the primary emphasis and objective of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami's Srimana Shiksha, which he naturally extends to its ultimate limit, inward cultivation of attachment to the type of prema found in Vraja. You beseech your audience to turn away from the contaminating influences acting upon covered souls and instead embrace purity as found in the great souls such as the Goswamis of Vrindavan. As found even in this early literature, at least directionally, where you clearly advocate and endorse inward cultivation, eloquently found in seed-like form within chapter 20 of Canto 10. As introduced in this concise, eloquent book, Light of the Bhagavad, gradually you expanded this aspiration further by personally giving us Vrindavan as our real home, along with the lives and writings of the 6 Goswamis as the gateway to enter the holy Dham. By your grace, my internal life of devotion to Vrindavan Dham has been immensely nourished in this past year by immersion in the glorious details of the lives and writings of our beloved Goswamis of Vrindavan. For those of us not yet qualified to live in Vrindavan full-time, following in the footsteps of Rupa Goswami, you taught us to cherish Vrindavan as our real home and to covet one day becoming qualified to make the eternal Vrindavan our eternal home. Finally, I want to report to you the current progress of the court case filed in 2004 by the plaintiff GBC to regain full control of the same ISKCON Inc. corporation that you personally established in July 1966. After 18 plus years of legal battling, a full trial on the merits is looming. I earnestly appeal to you for your full blessings for a favorable decision from the court. With your mercy, together with intelligent guidance by our attorneys and sincere prayers of the Vaishnavas, success will naturally follow. I am most grateful and indebted to you for all that you have abundantly given to me personally and to all others who are willing to receive true abundance from you. I pray for your empowerment, that I may unceasingly receive these gifts as well as assist you in this very mission of giving the same to others. Kindly accept me despite my error-filled attempts to assist and serve you favorably. Pleasing you is my life and soul, the real meaning and value of my life. I am at your feet begging for your continued mercy. Please keep me forever and ever engaged in your service. Your humble servant, Prabhupada Swami. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, for this wonderful offering. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So I'll request His Grace Yadavacharya Prabhu to offer his offering now.
Umagyanatimarandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militamina Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Namovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupam Kanayam Dadati Svapadantikam. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with a torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet? Dear Srila Prabhupada, it is stated in the Vedic scripture that one can know God when one takes shelter of a perfect, bona fide Krishna-conscious spiritual master. And this is confirmed by Sanjaya. Sanjaya admits that by the mercy of Vyasa, he could understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And because you are a pure representative of Vyasadeva, in the line of disciplic succession, we take shelter at your lotus feet. It is also stated that any person, if he is fortunate enough to hear these teachings from Krishna or from a bona fide spiritual representative, is sure to become a liberated person and get out of the darkness of ignorance. Narada also achieved perfection just by the association and a little service. So we are here praying that your association and your kindness will manifest the same kind of mercy. And because you are a perfect Acharya, a Goswami, you took birth in a Vaishnava family, which was like a setting for a perfect jewel. Srila Prabhupada, before you, I was like an animal, searching here and there for sense gratification, lost in the darkness of ignorance, no chance of even a glimpse of spiritual light. When you came, shining the light of the Bhagavad Gita as it is, giving us a chance to become human again. Now please give us your mercy to understand that light. Let it shine in our hearts so that we can pass it on to others with the same compassion you have shown us. With your mercy, we can become detached from this material world, which forces us to neglect our spiritual life. Our spiritual identity gives us fear and a conception of void, which only causes frustration in life. Srila Prabhupada, only you can drive away our nations as the sun drives away darkness. You give us perfect understanding of the personal conception of God. You gave us a taste for hearing the sublime pastimes of the Lord. You gave us this Krishna consciousness movement to save human society and to give us the highest perfection of life. We were bound by the stringent laws of material nature, but by your mercy, you came to reclaim the conditioned souls. You have taught us that the highest perfection of religion is the attainment of the stage of devotional service. Just like Narada achieved perfection by the association and service to great souls, we also pray that our service will please you. Satisfaction of the self-realized spiritual master is the essence of advancement in spiritual life. Only your mercy can give us faith and the ability to understand the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada, this Krishna consciousness movement is therefore distributing sublime information to the human society. And just by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one can become perfect in this life and go back home, back to Godhead. That's why we celebrate Vyasa Puja, to show the world of our unconditional love for you. So we are here to express our feelings of gratitude to you for spreading this Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. Srila Prabhupada, thank you for giving me a chance to serve you with these simple words. I bow my head at your lotus feet, your servant, Yadavacharya Goswami Das.
Thank you, Yadavacharya Prabhu. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So at this time, I'll request His Case Subal Prabhu to present his offering.
Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances unto your divine lotus feet. All glories to your divine grace, who as the founder Acharya of ISKCON, appeared to perfectly fulfill the mission of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. On this most auspicious occasion of your Vyasa Puja celebration, I fervently pray for your blessings and benedictions, so I may be able to fulfill the duties of a leader in your Chicago temple and serve your beloved Lordship, Shishi Kishore Kishori, Shishi Gaura Nitai, Sri Jagannath, Sri Baladev, and Srimati Shubhadra Maharani, and all your devotees, in a manner that is satisfying for your divine grace. During the COVID lockdown, we have the wonderful opportunity to read His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj's book, I Build You a Temple, the Juhu Story, with my Guru Maharaj, your dear disciple, His Holiness Ramapad Swami. It was a spiritually uplifting experience to have a first-row seat to witness your wonderful pastimes, and particularly relevant to me was to understand your style of leadership. The book has such a wealth of lessons that give us guidance on how to properly take up the responsibilities of leadership in your service. Srila Prabhupada, you taught us that management and preaching goes together. You said that good management follows preaching like a shadow, and that the best thing is that a manager should always be preaching. You instructed that the management of the temple will be at our fingertips if the devotees follow the rules, chant, and take prasadam. Srila Prabhupada, you explain managing principles in the Bhagavad Gita 10:12 purport. Quote, every endeavor requires land, capital, organization, and labor. Just as in business, one requires a place to stay, some capital to use, some labor, and some organization to spend, so the same is required in the service of Krishna. The only difference is that in materialism, one works for sense gratification. The same work, however, can be performed for the satisfaction of Krishna, and that is spiritual activity. End of quote. Srila Prabhupada, you pointed out that all these elements, land, capital, organization, and labor, are important, but the one that we cannot afford to lose is the labor or the manpower. In other words, we have to take good care of the devotees and make sure that they're engaged. In this regard, you explain that the first duty of a manager is to see that everybody is engaged in service. Srila Prabhupada, you explain that a good manager is able to satisfy everyone and live in a cooperative manner with all the devotees. The manager has to deal with persons of many different personalities, so it is important to utilize their energies and at the same time to keep them satisfied. And to the devotees under the management, Srila Prabhupada, you instructed them to be obedient to the appointed leader. And such obedience is the first law of discipline. Srila Prabhupada, you further explain that the test of success of our management is the measure in how well the devotees are satisfied with their engagement. The good manager should teach and be an example of Srila Rupa Goswami's teaching to be successful in their service, in the devotional service. Utsaham nischaya daryat tat karma pravatarnat sangha tyag sango brit sabir bhakti prasyadanti. I'm sorry about that. This machine changed the whole thing. Quote, there are 6 favorable principles to the execution of pure devotional service. 1, being enthusiastic. 2, endeavoring with confidence. 3, be patient. 4, acting according to the regulated principles such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna. 5, abandoning the association of non-devotees. And 6, following the footsteps of the previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service. Nectar of Instructions, text 3. Srila Prabhupada, in your purport of Canto 7, Chapter 5, text 12, you wrote the importance of having a culture of devotee appreciation in the temple and community. You wrote, quote, everyone should be friendly for the service of the Lord. Everyone should praise another's service to the Lord and not be proud of his own service. This is the way of Vaishnava thinking, Vaikuntha thinking. There may be rivalries and apparent competition between servants in performing service, but in the Vaikuntha planets, the service of another servant is appreciated, not condemned. This is Vaikuntha competition. There is no question of enmity between servants. Everyone should be allowed to render service to the Lord to the best of his abilities. And everyone should appreciate the service of others. Such are the activities of Vaikuntha. Since everyone is a servant, everyone is on the same platform and is allowed to serve the Lord according to his abilities. End of quote. His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj shared further instructions from your divine grace. 1. Preaching together help us appreciate each other. Without preaching together, we can take each other for granted. Another, cooperation with the authority is do what they say. Prabhupada said. Another one, the leader sometimes for the sake of relationship will sacrifice a lesser principle. Another one, devotee care should be like the mood of the mother who will take care of the physical and emotional needs of the child, and like the father who will facilitate and give all opportunities to achieve one's potential. Another one, in terms of balancing many duties, His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj quoted Srila Prabhupada's purport for Srimad Bhagavatam 10, 9, 5, or Canto 10, Chapter 9, text number 5. Quote, sometimes one must take care of more than one item of important business for the same purpose. On the platform of love and affection, it is the duty of the devotee to do one thing first and other things later. The proper intuition by which to do is given by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 10:10. Quote, Tesam shatata yuktanam vajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogantam yena man upayantite. In Krishna consciousness, everything is dynamic. Krishna guides the devotees in what to do first and what to do next on the platform of absolute truth. End of quote. With so many wonderful, inspiring lessons, there are two potential applications for your Chicago temple that I would like to push while in the position of leadership. One, to establish the unquestionable management paradigm for the whole institution of prioritizing devotee care over all important areas of management. Our greatest resource is the devotees. Two, to possibly expand this management training program or create standardized courses for all levels of management in the temple. To achieve this, we should prioritize devotee care without neglecting other important areas of management. Make sure that the devotees follow the rules and regulations, chant their prescribed numbers of rounds, and take prasadam. Preaching is the essence. All devotees must be encouraged to preach, and all leaders must be preachers and create various opportunities to preach together. All temple managers' first duty is to see that every devotee is engaged in service and fully satisfied. And last, a Vaikuntha atmosphere must be created in which the culture of appreciation for each other's services and devotion is happening. Dear Srila Prabhupada, you know from my Guru Maharaj all my weakness that disqualified me from assuming such an important responsibility of leadership in your service. But one thing, I love my Guru Maharaj and I'm loyal to him. His only desire is to fulfill all your desires, and I give my life to assist him in whatever limited way I am able. He wants to offer you a thriving Chicago temple with a beautiful Krishna consciousness community. I am ready to try my best to fulfill his desire. As my loving Param Guru and our founder Acharya, please bless me so I may overcome my weakness and please you, my Guru Maharaj, their merciful lordships, and all the devotees with my service. Your grateful servant, Subal Das.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So at this time, thank you so much, Subal Prabhu, for this wonderful offering. I would request His Grace Yamuna Jivan Prabhu to present his offering.
Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmlitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Shularompa Swami Niti Namine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. My dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my repeated and prostrated obeisances unto your very merciful lotus feet. All glories to your divine grace, and all glories to your numerous, steadfast, magnanimous disciples who have carried your mission forward despite all odds. As described by Krishna himself in the 11th canto, saintly persons are described as analogous to water. As water is purifying, one's consciousness is cleansed by contact with your divine grace as the gold standard saint. Your words are pleasing and nourishing, just as the sounds of cascading water. Water is inherently transparent. Your transparency in the form of being vulnerable, thoroughly honest, and freely sharing your inner dedication and love for Krishna deepens faith in the process of bhakti and in you. The flood of Krishna consciousness that Mahaprabhu wished to inundate the world is affected by the pure, transparent waters of his great generals, such as yourself. While some of us are truly pained and fatigued by the spinning waves and whirlpools of Bhavasagara, or the ocean of material existence, the pleasant streams of saintly persons touching the ocean can transform a few of us. These streams convert into boats or transcendental literature to help us suffering souls cross this horrid ocean. Tatpadapotena mahatkritena kurvante govatsa padam bhavabdim. Your stature, example, and voluminous devotional services fills my heart with hope, motivation, and faith in God and service unto Him. In you, I find shelter as a Param Guru. I marvel and joyfully laugh at what you had to tolerate with your budding disciples through their captivating chronicles of the nascent days of ISKCON. For example, in Shyam Sundar Prabhu's book, he writes about how his initiation ceremony with Mother Malati, you asked them to bow. They heard it as blow, and got on their hands and knees to blow the smoke from the sacrificial fire onto your face. Similarly, Mukunda Maharaj recalls in his book how you offered him your chewed date, which he tasted and offered it back to you. In both cases, you simply accepted their affection without any reprimand. Pure as water, but as tolerant as the earth. My life has a little bit of happiness for two primary reasons: your gifts of the Srimad Bhagavatam and the holy name. What sacrifices you went through to give us the Srimad Bhagavatam, traveling internationally, shaking off any jet lag, sleeping minimally, managing a worldwide burgeoning movement, kidney issues with uric acid, etc. Even at your deathbed, you were translating and offering your poignant realizations to the world. Your Srimad Bhagavatam gives me life. Generally, using my gifts from Krishna in service to your movement is what I cherish. May I progress from being a rotten householder, weak, lackadaisical, and proud, to a soul who's happy being insignificant and carrying qualities that make you smile when I come before you as your grandson, your aspiring servant, Yamuna Jivan Das.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much, His Grace Yamuna Jivan Prabhu. So at this time I would request, one more thing, if anybody has a written offering, please let me know and I'll put you down here for offering the prayers. And just now I'll request His Grace Rajapati Prabhu to read the offering of Indradumna Maharaj.
So this offering, as mentioned by Chaitanya Kishore Prabhu, is from His Holiness Indradumna Maharaj, my spiritual master. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my most humble obeisances in the dust of your lotus feet. All glories to you. In mid-August, in the midst of summer tour in Poland, I was surprised to see that many trees were already turning into their autumn colors. Generally, they don't change color until mid-September. They will start losing their leaves soon, I thought. Watching the bright colors blur through my window as we sped towards next festival site, two thoughts came to my mind. First, I thought about how I am in the autumn of my life, and soon you will call me to another service, somewhere here in the material world, or perhaps in the spiritual world. The second thought that I had was that I am fortunate to have lived as long as I have. You said in the morning walk on February 21st, 1975 in Caracas, Venezuela, instead of contemplating what will happen to this world, you have got a short duration of life, say 50, 60 years. You chant Hare Krishna and go back home, back to Godhead. Fortunately, I've lived 13 years past the 60-year deadline, but unfortunately, I've yet to shed a tear while chanting the holy names. I'm not discouraged though, because you said in a lecture in Los Angeles on May 4th, 1973, this is called firm faith, that now, because I am engaged in Krishna consciousness business, so I must be able to face Krishna face to face, see Krishna face to face, that I must have. So don't be disappointed. Go on with your Krishna consciousness activities. Time will come when you will see Krishna, just like Kunti is seeing face to face. There is no doubt about it. So I don't doubt that I will see Krishna one day, and I am certain that that will happen only by your grace. Thus, whatever time I have left in this body, I will fully dedicate to your mission of delivering the fallen conditioned souls. I realized long ago that it is only by serving your mission in this world that I can qualify myself to participate in your pastimes in the spiritual world. This means preaching the message of Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with full vigor, just as you did. Yata yata gaura padara vinde vindeta bhaktim krita punya rashihi. Tata tato sarpati ridya kasmad radha padamboja sudambu rasihi. As much as one can devote his full attention to the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya, to that extent he will be able to taste the nectarine service of the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani in Vrindavan. The more one engages in service of Sri Chaitanya, the more one finds oneself in Vrindavan, tasting the nectar of service of Sri Radha. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati, Chaitanya Chandramrita, verse 88. There are many excuses I could use to stop preaching. I'm too old, I'm too tired, I've done my part. But nothing I've done can equal even an iota of what you've done for me. My dear spiritual master, my debt to you can never be repaid. Recently, I watched again the heart-wrenching video of your last hours in this world. On your deathbed, you were using your final breaths to speak your Bhaktivedanta purports into a dictaphone held close to your mouth by a disciple. May I embrace those words to my heart and share them with the unfortunate people of this world. I pray that nothing will ever distract me from your mission and from my desire to join you in the Nitya Leela pastimes in Goloka Vrindavan. The present world is overrun with unlimited distractions. On the same morning walk on February 21st, 1975 in Caracas, Venezuela, you warned us against becoming infatuated by these distractions. Don't consider what will happen to this world. Nature will take care of it. You don't puzzle your brain with these thoughts. You utilize whatever time you have got in your possession and go back home, back to Godhead. You cannot check it. Best thing is that you mold your life and go back home, back to Godhead. Because people will go on with their material civilization. Natural consequences will be there. You better take advantage of whatever time you have, God, and become fully Krishna conscious and go back home. That will do, my beloved spiritual master. And knowing your compassionate heart, I will try to bring as many conditioned souls with me as I can. Like you, I will try my best to preach until my last breath, whether it comes today or tomorrow. If I am to be remembered, let it be only for my attempts to render service to your lotus feet. The samurai warriors had a code. Don't ask me how he died, ask me how he lived. I'm early in my awakening as a servant of the Lord, so I can't claim to know Krishna, but I am confident that I will reach the goal because I know you. It is you who will one day bring me face to face with the Lord. One time the great Ramanujacharya asked Ranganath, the presiding deity of Sri Rangam, "My Lord, what will happen if for some reason your devotee cannot remember you at the moment of death?" Ranganath replied, "If my devotee cannot remember me at the moment of death, I will remember my devotee." In my case, Srila Prabhupada, this could only happen by your causeless mercy. It is only because I am always remembering you that Krishna might remember me. My dear spiritual master, you are my life and soul, the most cherished element of my existence. You are everything to me, my Sakshat Hari, the Lord's representative in this world. I surrender myself totally unto your lotus feet. As the sun sets on my life, I am not afraid of what lies ahead, for it can be only for the surface at your lotus feet. I have experienced in this life that I am happy serving you in any condition, at any time, in any place, in the jungles of Amazon, the freezing steppes of Siberia, the deserts of Mongolia, the favelas of Rio de Janeiro, the ruins of Sarajevo, and the concrete jungles of New York, London, and Paris. I've always been happy sharing your message with others. This is especially true when I'm in the Baltic Sea coast with our festival, where for the last 30 years, thousands of guests have been in attendance every summer evening. When the audience gives us a resounding standing ovation, tears come to my eyes and I look up to sky and wonder, Srila Prabhupada, are you watching? I hope that you are, and I feel that you must be. Please know that by holding these festivals in my remaining years, I want to reciprocate with your tireless efforts in establishing this movement in the pioneer days of ISKCON. My life is coming to a natural conclusion, and I often dream of where I will serve you next. Every day, I'm trying to improve myself so that I will be a real asset to your mission. Forgive me for using a mundane phrase I learned in the military, but I want to hit the beach running. One time, a god brother of mine said to you, Srila Prabhupada, I want to be just like you. The assembled devotees were shocked. One devotee chastised the other person, saying, it's offensive to say that. You can never be equal to the spiritual master. But you took it differently and you said, that is the proper sentiment because spiritual master is Acharya. He is setting the example of what kind of devotee the disciple should be. I still have time left, a few days, a few months, or perhaps many years. I will use this time to try to become like you, to serve with the same determination as you did. You once wrote to me that I should always follow in the footsteps of advanced devotees. That instruction has guided me throughout my life. I've always honored my god brothers and god sisters, understanding them to be more advanced than me. Most importantly, Srila Prabhupada, I've honored you as the most advanced devotee I will ever know, either in this life or the next. I look forward to meeting you again one day in the spiritual world. You told one of my god brothers that when we return to the spiritual world, our spiritual master will be waiting for us. He will take our hand and lead us in the forest of Vrindavan, where he will introduce us to Krishna, our beloved Lord. I shall keep that vision in my heart as I wander around the world, attempting to bring fallen souls to your lotus feet. For you are Prabhupada, the master at whose feet all masters sit. All glories to you on this occasion of your divine appearance in this world. Your servant, Indradumna Swami.
Ibo Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for presenting this wonderful offering by Indradumna Maharaj. At this time, I would like to call upon Her Grace Hemangi Mataji to present her offering.
I'll be first reading my husband's offering. Namam Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi, Paschatya Desha Tarine. My dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances at your most merciful lotus feet that can provide shelter to anyone in the human spectrum. All glories to your divine grace. It is a self-evident fact that what you have achieved in a mere span of 11 years, between the ages of 70 and 81, is otherworldly. The list of your achievements is staggering. 108 temples across the globe, farm communities, restaurants, thousands of committed devotees who shed their materialistic positions and or ideologies to serve Radha Krishna exclusively. It is a wonder to some people that many devotees never even met you for this transformation to happen in their lives. They came across your devotees or books, that's it. When this unprecedented success is attributed to you, you immediately would say it was all possible by your Guru Maharaj's grace. You are an epitome of Guru Nishtha. In your purport to Bhagavad Gita 2.41, you write your realizations as, quote, as such, to be well versed in Krishna consciousness, one has to act firmly and obey the representative of Krishna. One should accept the instruction of the bona fide spiritual master as one's mission of life, in life, unquote. Sri Lakshmana treated Sri Ramachandra as his guru, more than his older brother. When directed by Sri Ramachandra to remind Sugriva of his lapse in fulfilling his promise to help find Sita Devi, Sri Lakshmana arrives in Kishkinda full of anger, disgust perhaps, at the frailty in Sugriva's commitment. Angada trepidly announces to Sugriva Sri Lakshmana's arrival in the following words. Sa esha Raghava Bhrata Lakshmano Vakya Sararthihi Vyavasayanarthaha Praptasya Tasya Ramasya Sasnata. By the command of Rama, his brother has come to you, Rama's words as charioteer and his work as chariot. Valmiki, Ramayan, Kishkinda Kanda, chapter 31, verse 47. The words, phrases in this verse match very closely to those in Bhagavad Gita 2.41. Sri Lakshmana's chariot is his resolve to fulfill Sri Rama's command. The charioteer is Sri Rama's instruction. In the spirit of Sri Lakshmana, you too embody this quality in your character. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's instructions catapulted you to come to the US. You did not allow your determination to wane even a bit, albeit 40 plus years passed between when you received the instruction and when it bore fruit. This is your shining example of Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, a.k. single-pointed resolve to carry our Sri Guru's instruction. It is my earnest call to your benevolent self to kindly bestow upon me even a tiny fraction of such nishtha for Sri Guru's seva. I will find my life abundantly enriched by such mercy. With much gratitude and hope, your servant Nityananda Prandas. Om Agyana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshul Nunmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. My dear and respected Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances at your divine lotus feet. All glories to your divine grace. In the past 1.5 years, I have taken shelter of your statement, your ever well-wisher, Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami. Every time I read this, it is very comforting and reassuring. Thank you for being our ever well-wisher. Today, if I'm benefiting the opulence of chanting the holy name, devotee association, or rendering some menial devotional service, it's all because of your well-wishing blessings. I realize that this simple statement is so profound and compact. With your love, compassion, and empowerment, by just meditating upon it gives me strength, hope, fearlessness, and my heart is filled with hope and gratitude for you and for what you have given us. My husband and I would like to thank you for engaging us for the past 22 years in service to Shri Kishore Kishori, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra, and Shri Gauranitai and their devotees. Kindly bless that we continue to serve you and your devotees wherever we go, and our hearts are filled with gratitude and appreciation for what we have received and will continue to receive. Praying to be eternally engaged in your service, Himangi Devidasi.
Thank you so much, Himangi Mataji. One quick announcement, if anybody has a written offering, please do let me know so I can put you on the schedule to speak. At this time, I would request His Grace Agnivesh Prabhu to present his offering.
Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances. On my way here this morning, I was passing down Lakeshore Drive. I saw thousands of people gathering for the Air and Water Show to see some miracles, some stunts, something amazing. But for me, you are the most amazing. And I thank you for coming here to America to bring the wisdom and knowledge and to get us out of this ignorance of impersonalism. As a young psychology student, I was studying personality, identity. I had many questions that my professors were not able to answer. It wasn't until I began to read your wonderful books, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, that I really got a real understanding of identity and who I really am. So I want to say thank you for bringing that knowledge that we are not these bodies, but we're all spirit, soul, that we are eternal beings, that we're all connected, that we're all brothers and sisters, no matter what our race, creed, or color. Thank you so much for clearing up this ignorance that so predominates this country that I live in, America. I pray that I can continue to engage as a servant of your devotees. I thank you for my spiritual master, His Holiness, Bhakti Tirtha Swami, who I was able to engage in service. Through that service, I found out that realization of Krishna and the taste, the higher taste that we read about in your books can actually be seen through intense service to one's guru. So I would like to say thank you very much. I pray that I can continue to be of service to you, your devotees. I ask that you please forgive me if I made any offenses toward you or the movement that you have established. And I pray that you continue to give me the strength to perform devotional service. All glories to you on this most wonderful occasions of your appearance. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Agnivesh Prabhu, for this wonderful offering. We'll request, now we have a very special offering by our third generation devotee. So our Gaura here wants to make an offering for Srila Prabhupada. So,
Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you. Thank you for coming to the West, bearing 2 heart attacks on a steamship. After you arrived, you didn't go see a cardiologist. You went straight to preaching and writing books. Thank you for spending so much time with energetic days with only 2 hours of rest and always writing at night. If it wasn't for you, this ISKCON temple, and we would all not be here. We would not be here in this temple. Prabhupada, at the age of 60 plus years, you came to the West to preach, even though you could have said, I'm too old to preach and go to the West. I'll stay here and preach. Thank you for doing all of this for me and everyone who has assembled here. Your servant Kirtaniya Gauradas.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Gaura. Wonderful, very nice and sweet and short offering. So now we have His Grace Rishabdev Prabhu. We'll request him to, present his offering.
नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रताय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चादेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासति गौर भक्तवृंद. Our dearest spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, please accept our humble obeisance at your lotus feet. On this glorious day of your appearance day, we beg you to bestow your causeless mercy upon us. Srila Prabhupada, you are the savior of the fallen soul, which you made essential for individual all over the world to become your devotee and become part of the Krishna consciousness. This was possible through book distributions, Krishna Prasad, and temples that have built all over the world. I was a fallen soul at a point until I conquered the ISKCON temple in Los Angeles. It was through reading your books and listening to your lectures that evokes me to become a devotee. I try to carry your instructions in which way that I can please you. You are full of compassion for the fallen soul. We need your mercy constantly and pray to you to please give us your kind blessing so that your instructions can be followed accordingly. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada, you are still everything to us so that we can carry on with your missions. Please request the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to empower to serve you with every bit of energy. You always say to do preachings and prasad distribution is the most important management. You also say to chant Hare Krishna and be happy. This is what we are doing and following. This is the goal of life. Please chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. Hare Bol.
Thank you, Rishabdev Prabhu, for your offering. So at this time, I'll request Her Grace Rajina Priya Mataji to speak Radhanath Maharaj's offering.
Hare Krishna. So I'll be speaking this on behalf of my spiritual master, His Holiness Radhanath Swami. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my sincerest obeisances. I pray to forever offer my body, mind and soul in your service. As I reflect upon my life over the past 51 years since I first met you, my heart fills with gratitude and joy. Through both the pleasant and the stormy times, your teachings and example have remained a constant shelter. Bitter conflicts, heartbreaking disappointments, and ideological disputes are everywhere in the world. Dreadful diseases, mental anguish, and natural disasters are filling people's lives with uncertainty. The influence of Kali Yuga seems to leave no stone unturned, even within a society of devotees. In this turbulent sea of material perplexities, your words and example give us shelter and provide a perfect compass to lead us always toward Krishna, the absolute truth and the goal of life. As the years pass, the limitations of old age and the nearness of death are right before our eyes. The increasing occurrences of our most beloved Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis disappearing from the physical world are now inseparable from the experience of living. Yet, you have given us the gift of Krishna consciousness, wherein we can know that Krishna's ever loving hand is reaching out to us in all situations. We need only to recognize His mercy and surrender to receiving it. As we grow on the path of bhakti, we are gaining deeper realizations of the glorious place that you are taking us. You have entrusted to us the eternal message that the happiness of hearing and chanting Krishna's names and glories while engaging in devotional service with sincere devotees is the highest reality. The rules and regulations that you mercifully gave are to protect us from the implications and distractions that draw our minds away from the joys of devotional service. You have given us a day-to-day way of living wherein our immortal souls may pass through this mortal world on a journey into Krishna's pure loving service. I am forever grateful. This year, 2022, we celebrate the 100th anniversary of a historic moment that would forever change the world. In 1922, in Kolkata, you first met His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada at his residence on a rooftop at the first Gaudiya Mutt on Ulta Danga Junction Road. 1 century ago, at this meeting, you were given the instruction to take the teachings of Lord Chaitanya to the whole world in the English language. You accepted this order as your life and soul. Years later, while residing in Vrindavan in a small rented room, you prepared for your mission by beginning your English translations and purports to the Srimad Bhagavatam. This was a humble beginning for your legacy of circulating the most Vedic literatures in history. Here in Vrindavan, you daily prayed at the Samadhi of Srila Rupa Goswami for his blessings to fulfill the impossible order that you had been given. The miracle of your dedication, sacrifice, and compassion has fulfilled a prophecy that has been cultivated through the ages by the greatest of Vaishnavacharyas. You have fulfilled a dream cherished by all of the acharyas of our parampara. This year, for your pleasure, Srila Prabhupada, this original temple at Ulta Danga in Kolkata where you first met with your Guru Maharaj and received his order, has been procured and renovated. It was inaugurated on the Vyasa Puja day of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur by the devotees of ISKCON Kolkata. This building has been restored as far as possible to its original design, materials, and atmosphere. We are hoping that it will be an intimate place of pilgrimage for all of your followers to come and meditate upon your divine grace. It is our hope that this sacred place may also help unite the greater Vaishnava community. Srila Prabhupada, in the past year, ISKCON Kolkata has inaugurated a memorial and pilgrimage site at the exact place you took birth in 1896 under the historic jackfruit tree. We will be striving in the days to come to develop this memorial in a way that devotees and sincere people of all backgrounds throughout the world will come to celebrate your glorious appearance and your pastimes of pure devotion and compassion. In this way, Kolkata will truly become a gateway to Mayapur and to the temple of the Vedic planetarium according to your desire. I pray for the sincerity to wholeheartedly beg for your mercy and to assist you in your glorious service to the parampara of Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Your servant Radhanath Swami.
Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much, Mataji, for reading the offering. At this time, I'll request His Grace Radharaman Prabhu to read Chandramouli Maharaj's offering.
Hare Krishna. I am reading this offering on behalf of His Holiness Chandramouli Maharaj. Om Agyanti Mirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, my eternal spiritual guide and the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Dear Srila Prabhupada, you have often told your disciples that reading your books is the best way of knowing you. If you want to know me, read my books. I may come or go, but in my books I will live forever. The more you distribute books, history will change. Whatever I wanted to say, I have said in my books. During the recent lockdown due to the pandemic, reading Srimad Bhagavatam was a daily affair that I could finally dedicate ample time to. I read more and absorbed more, appreciating how much time and energy you spent and how many sacrifices you endured to give us, your devotees, and the whole world the knowledge of Lord Shri Krishna and the practice of devotional service to Him. If you are strong in your position by reading books, Vedic literature, then you become very, very favorite of Krishna. You gave the world Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, through your words and your pure love for Him. And your books, especially Srimad Bhagavatam, contain the essence of transcendental knowledge, made sweeter and more understandable and applicable by your Bhakti Vedanta purports. Many lifetimes of knowledge yet to be revealed and relished. May we always remain cognizant of the eternal life-giving value of this gift of transcendental knowledge. One who acts in devotional service, renouncing the fruits of his actions, and whose doubts have been destroyed by transcendental knowledge, is situated factually in the self. Thus, he is not bound by the reactions of work. O conqueror of riches, Therefore, the doubts which have arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slashed by the weapon of knowledge. Armed with yoga, O Bharata, stand and fight. From Bhagavad Gita 441 and 442. Your servant, Chandramauli Swami. Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much, Radharaman Prabhu. Now we have Vibhu Prabhu. He wants to also offer. So.
Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. This year we are celebrating the 126th year of your appearance. You appeared on this planet just to purify fallen souls like me. One who can find shelter nowhere can find shelter in you. You are our only refuge. We experience serenity just by the glance of you. You have manifested yourself in your books. You have so mercifully written so many books for us. Bhakti Vinod Thakur has written while glorifying Haridas Thakur. He reasons ill who tells that Vaishnavas die when thou art living still in the sound. The Vaishnavas die to live and living try to spread the holy name around. You are living in your books. In this age of Kali, anyone can get your holy association by reading your books. This is your most magnanimous Leela. You are the spiritual master of the whole world. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, these books are Brihad Mridanga. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made a prophecy. Prithiviti Ache Nagar Yat Nagar Adi Gram Sarvatra Prachar Haibe Moronam. In every town and village, the chanting of my name will be heard. This Sankirtan movement will be broadcasted through your books. O Srila Prabhupada, I offer myself to you. Relieve me of my material afflictions so that my transcendence over them is a witness of your power, love, and way of life. Please bless me to do your will always. Daso Asmi.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So now we'll have Chaitanya Kishore Prabhu read his offering to Srila Prabhupada.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swami iti namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desha Tarine. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude on your appearance day. I am grateful to you because during the times of my difficulty, it was your words which entered right into my heart. I was misled and misdirected, and like many whom you brought back to the path of back home, back to Godhead, I also got the inspiration and enthusiasm to follow your directions. I was not knowing if I am on the right path or not, but there was this one little spark of faith that if Prabhupada says this, that it must be true. It will be revealed to me as I follow the system. I do not know what I did to deserve this, but I am glad that I got your shelter and shelter of your disciples and your ISKCON. My day starts with your morning walks or a lecture, and the simplicity with which you explain the concepts of Krishna consciousness truly makes me attracted to you. Not only that, I get an inside look at your personal dealings with your disciples and others through books like Transcendental Diary by His Grace Hari Sauri Prabhu, which further connect me to your ever compassionate, loving heart. I learned the art of management, art of negotiation, art of speaking, art of dealing with different kinds of people through these books and your morning walks and conversation. You intelligently dealt with every situation all the time with full dependence on Krishna and your Guru Maharaj. And that, I think, is something I'm learning. Just like the Madhurashtakam, where a devotee sings about the sweetness of the Lord, in how the eyes of the Lord are Madhuram, how the walking of the Lord is Madhuram, how the smiling of the Lord is Madhuram. For me also, all your words are Madhuram, all your actions are Madhuram. You're saying rascal is Madhuram. You're saying what is the difficulty is Madhuram. All your disciples and grand disciples are Madhuram. Finally, our shelter, your wonderful Sangha of ISKCON is Madhuram. You always said, I have given you all that is to be known, to become a pure devotee of the Lord. And you, by your purity, made this surmountable task of purifying ourselves not only sound simple, but actually made it simple. However, having a conditioned mind filled with dirt, we make simple things complicated and create endless doubts and confusions for ourselves. From last couple of years, we have been stuck with the reality that this material world is a place of misery and temporary. Through the COVID crisis, world has faced. But only people who are Kovidha, those who are intelligent, ask about these miseries. And this is what you and all of your staunch followers who are all Kovidha, intelligent, are trying to make the entire world aware of, so everyone can follow the path of Krishna consciousness and move towards their real destination of back home, back to Godhead. I want to be a small menial servant in this army of devotees assisting you through my Guru Maharaj and all the other wonderful disciples and grand disciples of yours. I pray I can be an insignificant instrument and act in ways that will please you. Servant of your servants, Chaitanya Kishore Das.
Srila Prabhupada ki. Thank you, Prabhu, for the wonderful offering. Now His Grace Balaram Prabhu is going to read his offering. Hare Krishna. Firstly, I offer all my respects to all the devotees who have gathered here. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my most humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to your divine grace, all glories to your spiritual master Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Very recently, I was having a conversation with one scholarly devotee, very dedicated to our movement, Shri Kishore Kishori Ki Jai. Very dedicated to our movement, and especially the insights that he provides with regards to some of the teachings of our Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. What amazed me in that conversation was his realization about the understanding and the depth that is involved in studying the Vedic literatures. He mentioned something to me which I'll never forget. He said that you have spent pretty much your entire life in understanding the Vedic literatures and providing us the essence in the Bhaktivedanta purports. The more I make an attempt to understand and study your purports, one thing that really strikes out is the simplicity in which you explain things to us. parallelly, when we try to study the works of our acharyas, there is always some, I won't say confusion, but the understanding gap which you so wonderfully bridge. Over the years, whatever little service that I have been able to offer here at the temple, the challenges that every service involves is not so much visible when you are just standing and observing. When you really get into the depth of service, you get a sense of what it really means to serve without ego and try to serve with a genuine understanding of the principle of humility. Dear Srila Prabhupada, whatever little services that we are offering here, it is only by your causeless grace. We put out many festivals this year, and every festival that we put out, there is always challenges. The number one challenge is finding resources, finding devotees to do service. Yesterday, we celebrated Janmashtami, and we witnessed some things that was pretty profound. One was, in spite of our efforts to please you and our deities here in our temple, there were volunteers who came and approached us. There was one such devotee who came to me yesterday and he said, Prabhu, I am here till midnight and whatever service you want me to offer, I am available. And I just told him one thing, that if you can find 5 more such volunteers like you, and interestingly, in about 10 minutes, he came to me, he said, here are your 5 volunteers. And I remember, I was just thinking that when we all make an attempt, sincere attempt to serve and please you, help comes. The more I reflect on your personality when you came here to America and trying to fulfill the order of your spiritual master to give the message of Lord Chaitanya, the hardships that you personally faced, but it was your sincerity, your purity, your humility, and your genuine concern for the fallen conditioned souls. Krishna sent help in the form of your disciples who are helping us with that same mood. Srila Prabhupada, although we make many attempts and we fail in many of our attempts, our hope is that you accept whatever little we are able to offer you, and please see some genuine sincerity in whatever we are trying to do here. It's only because of your empowerment that we can continue on to serve here and make more devotees and bring them closer to your lotus feet, knowing that they have hope, they will eventually transcend this world. Our sincere gratitude at your lotus feet, Srila Prabhupada, that you will continue to bless us with service, because this is the only way we can let go of our ego that binds us to this material world. On this auspicious day of your appearance, we beg again and again and again to kindly bestow your causeless mercy, the empowerment, and most importantly, the intelligence that is required to serve here and beyond. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada. All glories to your divine grace.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So I think we're done with the offerings who gave the names, all the devotees who gave the names. Is there anybody else, this is the last call, anybody else who would like to offer his gratitude to Srila Prabhupada, his or her gratitude to Srila Prabhupada. Anybody? All right. So we'll continue with our program. We'll have some kirtan till the offering is going on, and then we'll have Pushpanjali at 12. Okay, sorry. Leela Manjari Mataji wanted to make some announcement. 1 second.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for being here on the most auspicious appearance day of Srila Prabhupada. We are extremely blessed, as all the devotees have expressed, as Kirtaniya Gaura especially expressed. Srila Prabhupada suffered 2 heart attacks. It was not just 2 heart attacks, but it was hardship after hardship throughout his life to give us what we have today. It's described in the scriptures, Sakshat Haritvena Samasta Shastrir. It means that the spiritual master or the Guru Parampara that we are trying to follow through Srila Prabhupada is as good as God. And today we made a series of offerings through our words and hearts. Now we are making an offering of food that was prepared by devotees with a lot of love. And very soon we'll be offering flowers, and we'll also be reciting the pranam mantras of the most prominent acharyas. So what it means is that one of the devotees would be leading the pranam mantras, and each of us will be repeating them after him and offering flower petals to Prabhupada. So, as simple as it seems, please bring in the mood that we are trying to offer our lives, our hearts, our love to Prabhupada. It's just not flowers, it's coming from our hearts. And after that, there will be singing of the Guru Ashtaka prayers. While those prayers are being sung, different devotees will be coming forward to offer garlands. I really wish that we could actually provide a garland for all of you. Unfortunately, I don't have those resources. So we requested devotees to bring their own garlands. So please make a garland. You may not have it today, but make a garland for Prabhupada next time when you come. And everybody can offer a garland to Prabhupada. And I also have a humble request. While we offer the garland to Prabhupada, please do not step on where the imprints of his lotus feet are kept with your bare foot. We'll be providing a towel. So please step on the towel if you have to reach Prabhupada. And don't be in any kind of rush. Prabhupada was not in a rush. He accepted us where we are, how we are. So while placing the garland, place it carefully so that you fully reach Prabhupada. And while throwing the flower petals, please don't be in a rush to throw them. Go to Prabhupada. He's there to accept it. And gently place it at his lotus feet. And those are the announcements that I wanted to make. And I'm requesting that you fully bring your hearts as we take this offerings to Srila Prabhupada forward. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. You could have said.
No, I just came here. I'm like,
Well researched. You must have spent a lot of time putting that together. Right? You're going to say, tell them what to do. Tell them what to do.
Hare Krishna. So now we're going to be offering, as Leela Manjari Mataji mentioned, we're going to be offering this pushpa, flowers, at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. His Holiness Rompa Swami Maharaj will be reading the Mangalacharan, and in the end, when he chants Srila Prabhupada's pranam mantras, and we'll be doing the offering 3 times. So it will be at the end. So just follow along when Maharaj is chanting the pranam mantras. Hare Krishna.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshudamiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yatapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Anvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitangscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Dayataya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayane Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jvala Premadhya Shri Rupa Nuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostate Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatadine Rupanuga Viruddha Apasiddhanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambodhe Padambo Jayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchit Anandanamine Gaura Shakti Sarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumestvam Nirdishta Sajjana Priyaha Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannathayate Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Jayatam Surato Pangor Mama Manda Mater Gati Matsarvasvataram Bhojo Radha Madana Mohano Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadrumadaha Srimad Ratnagara Singhasanasto Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Preshtalibhi Sevyamano Smarami Shriman Rasa Rasarambhi Vangshi Bata Tata Stitaha Karshan Venusvanayar Gopir Gopinatha Shriyestanaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Pushpanjali Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Go ahead. Hare Krishna. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Srila Prabhupada Ki Pushpanjali. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Pushpanjali.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Samsaradava Naranidaloka Tranaya Karunya Ganaganatvam Samsaradava Naranidaloka Tranaya Karunya Ganaganatvam Raptasya Kalyana Gunanavasya Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam Raptasya Kalyana Gunanavasya Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nitya Gita Vaditya Madhyam Manasora Sena Sena Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nitya Gita Vaditya Madhyam Manasora Sena Vaditya Madhyam Manasora Sena Romanchakampa Sutaranga Bhajo Vande Guru Sri Charanarvinda Romanchakampa Sutaranga Bhajo Vande Guru Sri Charanarvinda Sri Vigraharagar Nityanana Sringaratan Mandiramarjanado Sri Vigraharagar Nityanana Sringaratan Mandiramarjanado Sringaratan Mandiramarjanado Yuktasya Bhaktam Shaninjatopi Vande Guru Sri Charanarvinda. Vindam yuktasya bhaktam chunyanjatopi. Vande Guru Sri Charanarvinda. Chaturvidha Sri Bhagavat Prasado Swadanna Tripta Haribhakta Sangha Chaturvidha Sri Bhagavat Prasado Swadana Tripta Haribhakta Sangha Vidaiva Triptim Bhajasa Sadaiva Vande Guru Sri Charanarvinda. Vidaiva Triptim Bhajasa Sadaiva Vande Guru Sri Charanarvinda. Shri Radhika Madhavaya Para Madhurya Leela Gunarupa Namna Shri Radhika Madhavaya Para Madhurya Leela Gunarupa Namna Gunarupa Namna Pratikshanattva Dhanalolupasya Vande Guru Sri Charanarvinda. Pratikshanattva Dhanalolupasya Vande Guru Sri Charanarvinda. Nikunjayo narati keli siddhaye Yayali kiyo pirapikshaniya Yayali kiyo pirapikshaniya Nikunjayo narati keli siddhaye Yayali kiyo pirapikshaniya Vikshaniya Tatradikaksha Adhivavasya Vande Guru Sri Charanarvinda. Tatradikaksha Adhivavasya Vande Guru Sri Charanarvinda. Dakshadharitrina samasta shastrae yuktasya tavarateva sadhve युक्तस्य भारत एव साध्वी साक्षात् हरित्वेन समस्तशास्त्रैः युक्तस्य भारत एव साध्वी किन्तु प्रभुया प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्द किन्तु प्रभुया प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्द यस्य प्रसाद भगवत् प्रसाद यस्य प्रसाद नगदी कुतोऽपि यस्य प्रसाद भगवत् प्रसाद यस्य प्रसाद नगदी कुतोऽपि ध्यायन्तु वां तस्य यस्य श्रीसान्ध्या वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्द ध्यायन्तु वां तस्य यस्य श्रीसान्ध्या वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्द वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद की नमः ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण प्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चाचार्य शतादिने प्रभुपाद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद प्रियद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरा भक्तवृंद प्रभु नित्यानंद Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Sivasati Gaura Bhaktarinda Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Krishna, Prasadam is being served upstairs on the third floor. So if those of us who are fasting or would like to partake of the Mahaprasad, you can go to third floor while the Kirtan is going on. We also need few volunteers who can help us clean the temple floor. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Jaya Kishore, Kishori, Jaya Kishore, Kishori, Jaya Kishore, Kishori, Jaya Kishore, Kishori, Jaya Kishore, Jaya Kishore, Kishore, Jaya Kishore, Kishori, Jaya Kishore, Kishori, Jaya Kishore, Kishori, Jaya Kishore, Kishori. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Dalad dalad daine, dalad daine, Ranyakashi Purvakshaha, Shiradangan Kalahale, Idon Sima Paradon Sima, Toya Toya Mitadon Sima, Bahen Sima, Hridayen Sima, Narasimha Madim Sharanam Prapate, Tava Kara Kamalavare Naka Adhuta Singha Dalita Hiranyakashipo Tanurinda Keshavadita Narari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Tava Kamalavare Nakha Adhuta Sringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringa Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Tava Kara Kamalavare Naka Adhuta Singha Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanurinda Keshavadita Narari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare. कर कमल वरे नाखा अद्भुत श्रृंगार दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनु भृंगा केशवदेता नर हरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नृसिंह देव जय नृसिंह देव जय नृसिंह देव जय नृसिंह देव जय प्रहलाद महाराज 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 जय प्रहलाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 निताई गौर हरि बो हरि बो हरि बो हरि बो निताई गौर हरि बो हरि बो हरि बो हरि बो निताई गौर हरि बो निताई गौर हरि बो हरि बो हरि बो हरि बो
निताई गौर प्रेमानंद हरे हरि बोल। शिल प्रभुपाद व्यास पूजा महामहोत्सव की, शिल प्रभुपाद की, ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaura Premanandi. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajak Acharya Ashtotara Shata Shishimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajak Acharya Ashtotara Shata Shishimad His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki, the most beautiful Lordship Shishi Kishore Kishori ki, Paramakaruna, the most merciful Lordship Shishi Gauranitai ki, the most merciful Lordship Shri Jagannath Sri Baladev Shrimati Shubhadra Maharani ki, Sri Harinam Sankirtan Jagya ki, Srila Prabhupada Vyasa Puja ki, Nitai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shishiguru and Shigoranga.